Hello children, today I am going to explain the new contents from this unit, okay? So pay attention and let's start. The content that we are going to study is about the past perfect. Past perfect. Past perfect equivale a lo que es para nosotros en español las fórmulas creadas con había más un verbo en participio. Por ejemplo, había vivido, había salido, había estado, había sido, ¿ok? Now, when we use it in English, we use this form. By the time the vacation ended, I'd made friends for life. I'd, this, represents had, okay? It's an abbreviation. Now, we have here affirmative and negative forms. All the pronouns I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, affirmative, had been to Ecuador before. Had been. Habíamos estado. ¿Ok? Been es el participio del verbo be. Participio es la tercera fila en la lista de verbos, en la tercera fila. ¿Ok? Now, if we need it is in a negative sentence, we use the pronouns and then hadn't. ¿Ok? Now, we are going to complete the rule. It says, we form the past perfect with had or hadn't plus past participle. The contracted form of had is, comita, de. Okay? We have here some examples. I had visited the Natural History Museum before. Carrie was tired because she hadn't slept all night. Yo había visitado el Museo de Historia Natural antes. Katy estaba cansada porque no había dormido toda la noche. Okay, this is a negative statement. Now, look at here. We have a mistake written here. Tenemos acá una oración que tiene problemas, que está mala, por eso está tachada. We had not taken any pictures. That is the correct form. In this one, we did not taken, incorrect. Okay, now we are going to do some exercises using this. You can go to the end of your book and there you have the list of verbs. Okay, so like that, we can do it. Now it says here, complete the sentences with the past perfect, affirmative or negative forms of the verbs in the box. Before doing the exercise, antes de hacer el ejercicio, tenemos que tener súper claro que tenemos que buscar la fórmula o la forma participio de cada una de las acciones. ¿Ok? El participio es la tercera en la columna. ¿Ok? So, we are going to start. Pay attention to these symbols at the end. They represent affirmative and negative. Look at the example. I had traveled around Europe before. Yo había viajado por Europa antes. Okay? Now, let's do number one. It says, they to the airport by the time I got home. Forget, go, have, read, write, see, swim, travel. Which one is the correct? Pick one, put it in participle, and let's do it. The correct form here is had gone. They had gone to the airport by the time I got home. Ellos se habían ido al aeropuerto para el momento en que llegué a casa. The next one is a negative sentence, okay? And it says, we, the movie before. Which one here goes with movie? The action we need is this one, okay? But we need it in participle. El participio es sin, con N final. We hadn't seen the movie before. Nosotros no habíamos visto la película antes. Okay? In number three, breakfast, So we very hungry. Okay? Now, in this case, breakfast, I need an action here that goes with breakfast. The action I need is this one. Okay? Because have breakfast means desayunar. Have breakfast, desayunar. Pero la necesito en participio. Y el participio de have es had. Por lo tanto, se va a dar una situación en que ambas palabras, la primera y la segunda, van a ser la misma. In this one is negative, so John hadn't had breakfast, so he was very hungry. Okay, now let's go to number 4. It's negative again, and it says Alex under a waterfall before. Waterfall means cascada, so it's negative. Alex hadn't swum under a waterfall before. Swum with a U is the participle of swim. Okay, let's go to the next. Number 5 says, we our sandwiches, so we have to buy lunch. Nosotros, nuestro sándwich, entonces tuvimos que comprar el almuerzo. Okay, this is the correct verb, forget. That means olvidar. Okay, so we put it in here. We had forgotten our sandwiches, so we had to buy lunch. Then in number 6, we have Sally was nervous because she a camel before. Okay? En este caso, I have to use this action, ride. That means montar o andar en. And the participle, you can look it at the end of your book. Sally was nervous because she hadn't ridden a camel before. Now, in number 7, it says, when I saw the Harry Potter movies, the books. So the only action here is this one. So the correct formula is, when I saw the Harry Potter movies, I hadn't read the books. Okay? Now, let's go now to the next activity. In this one, it says, look at the vacation pictures. Write sentences in the past perfect about what Mark and Emily had and hadn't done by the end of their vacation. Look at the exercises. Okay, take a look at this one. Negative, affirmative, 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 negative. What is the verb I have to change? This one. This verb, I have to change it. Lo que estoy indicando son las acciones que yo debo usar en participio y agregar had or hadn't. That's the only thing you have to do. Pretty easy. So in this one says they, negative. So I have to use hadn't. They hadn't. Then we have rent, rented. Okay, it's a regular verb, a car. They hadn't rented a car. Now in the next one, look at here. This is the action you have to transform. They take pictures by a fountain. Affirmative. So, had or hadn't? What do you think? Any ideas? Think about it. Take a minute and think about it. The participle here is taken with an N at the end. The participle here is bogged. The participle here is sunbathed. And the participle here is gone. Okay? So you only have to decide if you use had or hadn't. Let's take a look. They had taken pictures by the fountain. They had sunbathed on the beach. They hadn't gone hiking in the mountains. Now we are going to do some exercises on your books, okay? So pay attention. We are here on page number 21. You have here the same exercise you saw before, okay? Affirmative and negative. We have here some rules, okay? So in this case, it's the same we did on the PPT before. In this one, the correct option is had or hadn't, and the contracted form of had is D. La forma abreviada de had es la comita con la D. Okay? So now we are going to do this activity. Activity number 1. It says, complete the story with the correct past perfect form of the verbs in parentheses. Solamente vamos a utilizar past perfect, o sea, had o hadn't y verbo en participio. It says here, traveler's tales, historia de viajeros. And it says here, tell us about your nightmare vacations, vacaciones de pesadilla, o sea, espantosa. We'll publish the best ones. Okay? So take a look. You have this, 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 this. Remember, if you have it like this with not, it's negative. Okay? So think about that, do your exercises, and I will show you the correct options. Okay? Are you ready? Remember that if you don't know the participle of the verbs, you can look at the end of your book. There you have a list. Okay, let's do the first one. Nico's nightmare. We had booked a week's vacation to Hawaii a long time ago. Had or hadn't? Think about it. Now I'm going to show you what are the correct options in this case. We'd booked a week's vacation to Hawaii a long time ago. I'd seen a lot of TV shows about Hawaii, but I hadn't visited there before. So I was very excited. But as soon as we had arrived, a disaster happened. The airplane food hadn't been very nice, so we decided to eat out. But after we had eaten, we felt sick. The chef hadn't cooked the chicken properly. By the end of the week, we hadn't done any sightseeing. We had spent every day at the hotel. Okay? Take a look. In some cases, you have a variation, okay? And in others, you have the complete form. Remember, you can make it short when it's affirmative, not when it's negative, okay? Solo podemos abreviarlo cuando es afirmativo, no negativo. Okay, kids, that's it for today. Bye bye.